So day 4 of the Richard Satchwell trial, let's dive right in. So Tina Satchwell was last seen alive in public on Sunday the 19th of March 2017 at a car boot sale with her husband in the town of Carrigtwohill. 5 days later, Richard walked into Fermoy Garda station and reported his wife missing, claiming that he'd last seen her 4 days earlier as he left to fetch groceries from an Aldi in Dungarvan. Richard stated that his wife had been depressed and troubled by family disputes and believed she'd chosen to leave to get her head straight. He stated that he believed she'd taken 26 grand in cash, the proceeds of a sale of a house. 2 suitcases were missing, her phone had not been used, and her bank account had not been accessed since the day of her disappearance. Richard went on a media run, granting interviews intended to generate publicity for the case, but this stopped when the media probed a little too deeply and he claimed it twisted his words, etc., etc. Okay. Right, let's skip forward a bit. In July 2023, Garda... Now, geez, why did it take them so long? This is 2017, but anyway, look, more on that later. In July 2023, Garda re-examined the case, identifying discrepancies in Richard's statements and noting renovations under the stairs in the house. Big red flag there. In October 2023, during a renewed search, Tina's skeletal remains were discovered buried under the stairs, wrapped in plastic and covered in concrete. Richard was arrested and charged with murder. So that is a grim discovery. So the wife was found buried under the hall, wrapped in plastic, and I even heard reports, and I just want to say allegedly here, that he was talking to the wife as he used to pass by in the hallway and stuff like that, which gives me Dahmer vibes, Gacy vibes, which is kind of creepy out. But anyway, the trial kicked off there just in April, just gone. Central Criminal Court in Dublin. Richard pleaded not guilty to murder, but the prosecution presented evidence of his inconsistent accounts, including claims that Tina attacked him with a chisel, which is odd, leading to her accidental death during a struggle. I don't want to cast my own aspersions here, but I'll continue. He admitting to storing her body in a freezer before eventually burying it under the stairs. Okay. So, strange case so far. It's so long, like 7 years there, chief suspect. I know the Gardaí have to build evidence and stuff like that, but, with a lot of these spousal murders tends to be the partner, just 7 years later. But anyway, look, let's keep going on. So the defense acknowledged his dishonesty, but argued that the death was not premeditated, suggesting a manslaughter verdict. Okay, so, maybe this chisel attack happened. We just don't know. But what we do know is we're in the 4th day of deliberation. The jury has been deliberating since the 27th of May. So, hopefully there's going to be a verdict today. I don't know what it's going to be. Is it murder? Is it manslaughter? Is it not guilty? They're the 3 cards in the deck. So it'll be interesting to see which one plays out. But give us your thoughts below. Follow the page. We're going to have a lot of kind of cases like this regularly, looking at Ireland and international. So this is one of the most vile headlines I think I've ever read. Even to read it out is disgusting, but I will. South African mum who allegedly sold her daughter 6 for eyes and skin gets life sentence. Like, selling your daughter for body parts is just beyond belief. A mom has been sentenced to life behind bars, thank God, after she was convicted of kidnapping and trafficking her 6-year-old daughter for her eyes and skin. Raquel Kelly Smith and her boyfriend, Jackeen Apollos, has been sentenced to life in jail following a 6-week trial at a community centre in Saldanha, South Africa, that heard 6-year-old Jocelyn Smith had been sold to a traditional healer for body parts. What in the name of God is going on here? What's a traditional? What are you going to do with the body parts? When I looked at this headline, I was thinking it's going to be something about uh, going out to China or something, like some organs, or someone needs eye surgery or something. But what even is a traditional healer? Sorry, let me Google this in real time. What is a traditional healer? A traditional healer, in general terms, is someone who uses, including practices, knowledge, and beliefs passed down through generations within a specific culture and maintain. So this is like just a kind of a quack, I think we'd call it in Ireland. Uh, Natural remedies. Okay, I actually don't know because it differs across cultures, but let's get back to this anyway. Right, so a witness alleged during the trial that Miss Smith had talked of selling her children for 20,000 rand, which equates to around £850. My God, imagine your daughter's life is worth that little. I just can't understand that. Like, any of these kind of family annihilators, familicide, like the most sacred bond in my eyes is the covenant of family. And just to deviate that and to violate it so disgustingly is just beyond belief. Like you see with a lot of serial killers, it's random victims, and they're doing it for, maybe fantasy or thrill. But this is just vile. It's profiting off the death of your child. My brain doesn't compute this. But anyway, uh, another witness said she had planted to supply her daughter to a healer named Sangorna, who wanted the young girl for her eyes and skin. Oh, my mouth is nearly drying up at how horrible this is. So a local pastor had also testified that he heard Miss Smith say she would have been willing to accept a figure as low as £204. My God. The price of a human life, the price of a little girl, with her life ahead of her. So the young girl's fate was never confirmed. However, with an extensive search efforts launched after she went missing in February 2024, but they have come up empty. She's yet to be located. There is no trace of her. Oh God, what was she used for that? Like imagine the terror of that little 6-year-old, as she's being harvested. Smith had won. Oh no. Just see what this is. So Smith had won the sympathy from South Africans last year after her daughter's disappearance, with neighbours joining in a massive search in sand dunes near the impoverished settlement of Medelpus, where she lived with her mum, mother's partner, brother, and her younger sister. God, so it was a big ordeal, a big search, a big fanfare, a big media fest. And all the time, this, I can't even call her a mother, this monster, was hiding a dark secret. So last week, yes, get to the justice here now. Last week, Judge Erasmus said that the mum's conduct was not that of a concerned parent, adding he inferred from what she had said that she knew what happened to her daughter. Addressing Miss Smith, he said the conduct of Miss Smith is not that of a concerned parent, and why not? In my mind, it's only an inference. The trial of Miss Smith and her co-accused captivated South Africa, with the courtroom breaking into applause as Miss Smith and her husband or her partner were sentenced to life behind bars last week. Okay, at least. Wait, what's this now? On the kidnapping charge, you were sentenced to a minimum of 10 years. Now, this better be life. This woman should never be let out, after doing something so horrific, so egregious, and then to go on the media blitz, trying to get sympathy, probably a GoFundMe there or something as well. Oh, it's just vile. So, hopefully justice served in this case. That poor little girl, though. What happened of her, the fact that I just don't even want to go there, right? I'm going on to the next video. So stalkers normally look creepy and like weirdos typically, and I don't think I've ever seen one as creepy and as weird as this guy. So Jennifer Aniston's accused stalker, who crashed into the security gates at her Bel Air mansion, has been declared unfit to stand trial by a psychiatrist. Jimmy Wayne Carwyle appeared in mental health court. What's mental health court? Didn't know there was such a thing. In Hollywood on Thursday. Maybe it's a Hollywood thing. A lot of mentalers out there. But okay, let's dig into this a bit more. So, Carwyle has pleaded not guilty to charges including felony stalking and felony vandalism after allegedly driving his Chrysler PT Cruiser through the gates of Aniston's property. On May 5th, he appeared in court on Thursday wearing a yellow t-shirt and sporting a new look after a shave and a haircut. Still, them Manson lamps, them big eyes on them, they're not going to hide anything. That crazy is still going to be there. So, in mental health court last week, public defender Robert Crouch revealed a psychiatrist review found him to be incompetent to stand trial, but Carwyle demanded a second opinion. Okay, this guy, this guy thought he was sane or something. And Judge Maria Calavuzzi said it was his legal right to have another psychiatrist review his mental state. Okay, so on Thursday, Crouch revealed the new psychiatrist is also of the opinion. So two psychiatrists saying this guy is, he's obviously having some psychosis. There's something not right, and he's not fit to stand trial. Okay, so Carwyle is accused of harassing Aniston, including social media, email, and voicemail messages. How did he get her number? This guy did some, come here, you can't have that much mental health problems if you're proficient enough to get a Hollywood celebrity's mobile number. And anyway, if you're sending stuff on social media, like email, how is he getting all? Like, social media I can understand, yes, but like you can't DM someone. Normally it just goes into a kind of lost inbox. It's an invite inbox. And email, how is he getting her email? This guy must have did some digging on the dark web or something. So Aniston was at home during this incident, but did not come face to face with the alleged stalker. Now, what had he prepped in mind for this? Like, what was the ultimate goal? What was driving him? What was motivating him? The barge through them gates. What did he want to get out of her? Yeah, maybe there'll be more on it. But anyway, thankfully, he was held at gunpoint by our security team until the police arrived, and these pictures are insane. Why was he wearing a duvet? So a judge previously granted a restraining order keeping him at least 100 yards away from 100 yards. That's not a restraining order. That's sure our house, our driveway is probably 100 yards. You could probably stand outside the gates waving in at her. Like 100 yards is nothing. And do them restraining orders ever work? I don't know. So the US Sun understands Carwyle had been speaking to someone online who was impersonating Aniston in the weeks leading up to the incident. So there's a big Hollywood catfish somewhere who had also been in contact with his family. The actress's lawyer, Blair Burke, was present in court on Thursday but did not speak. Carwyle's estranged wife previously claimed he traveled to Los Angeles months ago on a mission. God, mission being the operative word there, to meet the actress. This guy was committed. He was obsessed by all sounds of it. And he was also like mission orientated. Just what's jumping out to me. Normally you hear that kind of term brought around in like the serial killer circles, etc. Mission orientated tends to be, in my opinion anyway, that you're planning it and you're way more likely to be compos mentis. You're more likely to be in your right mind. So that's an interesting one. Julia Carwyle told the Daily Mail that her estranged husband believes he's Jesus and Aniston is supposed to be his queen. Oh, okay, maybe this guy is very compromised. I guess he was speaking with her. He had the impression that Jennifer Aniston and he were going to talk and meet. Sure. He thought maybe she's just going to meet a guy, take a chance. That's the way he was thinking. What, like that? Maybe after all the Hollywood, all the Hollywood men aren't working out, she's going to take a chance on a normal guy like him. That was maybe what was fueling him. I don't know. Okay, so quick recap. This guy is terrifying looking. He was on some mission, believed he was Jesus, believed Jennifer Aniston was his queen, and he was going to ram through her grey gates and do God knows what to her. But this is just a creepy case. But like, if he's not standing trial, I don't know what happens. To be honest, I've never heard really of mental health court. Like, obviously, he's going to go into some institution. I don't think there's sentences on that. Uh, I think you just go in until maybe you're better. Well, I don't know if this guy comes better, but so look, this case is just a weird one. Uh, yeah, look after your mental health. So here's another very, very grim headline. Mum orders contract killing of her 12-year-old daughter, paying friend £930 to drown her because they constantly argue. Oh, like, Jesus, what is with these mothers out there? It's just frightening. So, mom has been arrested in Russia after allegedly hiring a pal to drown her 12-year-old daughter because they constantly argue. What a just horrible way. The woman, named only as Svetlana, is said to have tried to pay a male friend £930 to kill her child by throwing her into a river in the Shabelimps. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Some region in Russia, anyway. Unbeknownst to her, the schoolgirl, her daughter, had been eavesdropping behind the door and overheard the mum's chilling murder plot. Svetlana, 46, allegedly told a man she was tired of her daughter's bad behavior and their constant arguments. I've no words for this. Like, instead of like trying to discipline your first, or I know, maybe last resort, first resort, I don't know what it is, but you just don't go hire a hitman or try to get someone to drown your daughter, because there's bad behavior. Maybe that's a reflection on you. But anyway, she then sent the girl off with the would-be killer, named only as Andre, 36. When they were walking alongside the road, the schoolgirl was very afraid and worried. But the man told her, this friend, that everything was going to be okay and promised to protect her. He hid the girl at his home and went to police straight away. Okay, so this guy's stand-up guy, anyway, lured this psychopath in, but then you're going to go ahead with the hit and then, go to police and save this little girl. So thank God that happened. He told cops Svetlana had offered cash to have her daughter drowned in the Karaganga River. The mom of four was detained and now faces up to 15 years in jail for the incitement to murder a minor. When questioned by police, she was reportedly unable to explain her actions. Wow. That's just a kind of chilling case. Instinct to kill a child, like your own child, is just so bizarre. Thankfully, this guy, anyway, didn't go through with it. And just copped on that, this mother was just evil. Like, I think, she's unable to explain her actions. I can explain them with one word: evil, because that's what it is. But anyway, on to the next. Okay, so here's an interesting headline. Judge gets prison term for shooting and wounding her ex-boyfriend as he slept. What a fall from grace. Imagine being a judge, like typically the most esteemed in society almost, suddenly is on the other side of the law, which is very interesting. So a former magistrate's judge in Pennsylvania convicted of shooting and wounding her ex-husband in the head as he slept has been sentenced to 30 years in prison. So, whoa, she shot him in the head and he survived, by the sounds of it here. Sonya McKnight was convicted last month on attempted homicide and aggravated assault charges. She resigned her post during Wednesday's hearing, where the judge told her she was totally without remorse for the shooting. She only resigned her post after the hearing. So that is wild. And maybe, I suppose, you're innocent until proven guilty, of course. But, you shot your ex-boyfriend in the head. I wonder why this happened. So McKnight, she maintains her innocence, and her attorney said an appeal is ongoing. The shooting occurred in February 2024 at the boyfriend's home. McKnight had lived there, but the man repeatedly asked her to leave when the relationship ended, authorities say. Wow. So this one was obviously a bit kooky. I don't know. Like shooting someone in the head, wouldn't leave. Is she obsessive? Is she a psycho? I don't know. Prosecutors argued at the trial that McKnight was a jealous partner who didn't like that she'd been asked to leave, but her attorney and her ex-boyfriend couldn't identify the shooter. The ex-boyfriend testified that he couldn't see after the shooting. I can imagine he was shot in the head. But that McKnight was the only person in the home at the time. The jury deliberated for 2 hours. Whoa, that's not much deliberation. Like, there must have been a good substantial body of evidence here if they went, 2 hours. Yeah, this one is guilty. McKnight, who was an elected judge in Dauphin County in 2020 or 2015, had been suspended without pay in mid-November 2023 after the Court of Judicial Discipline, which handles misconduct allegations against judges, said she violated judicial probations from a previous case regarding a 2020 traffic stop involving her son. She was acquitted of criminal charges in that matter. Okay, so there was a bit of kind of corruption, or there was something kind of sinister going on here, or sly anyway, maybe not sinister. Local outlets reported she also shot and wounded her estranged husband in 2019. This one is an absolute on a rampage. How is this a judge? Prosecutors didn't charge her either, citing self-defense. Okay, like there's a bit of a history here now that this woman was a piece of work. I'm not even going to call her a judge. Wow. So, she shot her estranged husband, her boyfriend, who was trying to get her to move out, probably because she was, a fucking psycho. He ends up with a bullet in the head as he slept. And then she tries to get her son off traffic cops. Like, this is corruption. This is a psychopath behaving like a psychopath, in my opinion. And justice finally got caught up with her. And you see this a lot. You get away with one thing, you get away with something else, and next minute, you feel invincible. Here, I'll just throw a bullet into my ex-boyfriend there, it'll shut him up. So yeah, she got justice, and deservingly so by the looks of it.